Hello, everybody. It's Crafting Journey on Crafting and Crime Daily, and we have a verdict in the James Crumley trial, State of Michigan versus James Crumley. They have deliberated just over 10 hours, which is about 1 hour less of deliberation than they had for Jennifer Crumley. So we're waiting for them to enter the courtroom, and then I will go ahead and bring that footage to you. Hi, Rhonda. How you doing? I'm just trying to get everything set up here. It's just after 8 p.m. in Michigan. All right, as you can see, they're waiting for the defendant to be brought into the courtroom. So we don't have that yet. I'm going to take it out until we get that. Hi, Tia. Hi, Cynthia. How you guys doing? I was just enjoying some pizza, watching the news, and we get a Crumley verdict. Yay. Hi, Berta. It's after 8 where they are in Michigan. So the jury had asked if they could deliberate late. You know, usually they're supposed to wrap things up about 4:30 or 5 when the courthouse closes, but they asked the judge if they could deliberate later than that. So they must have been. We had some inkling that they were close to a verdict. So we shall see what it's going to be. I'm going to put myself inside there. I think I will mute it for now until we get some action. Tia, how's your vacation? Hi, Shirley. Welcome, welcome. You're not late. We have not heard the verdict yet. We are waiting for the verdict. So I think we're waiting for the defendant to enter the courtroom. He has not entered the courtroom yet. So you haven't missed anything. You have not. They've been deliberating. They started yesterday. They had an hour and a half under their belt yesterday. Continued for another 9 or so hours today. And I mean, what do you guys think? Guilty? 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter or not guilty? I will reserve on my opinion here. We'll see. I'm going to make it a different layout so we don't see all that chat. We don't need their chat and our chat. Oops, I made it small instead of large. Hold on. Let's go back here. Click the right button, Rebecca. We want it to go large. There we go. Full screen. All right. This means tomorrow I got to bring you guys a true crime story. So James is probably busy putting on a suit. You know, he has to change out of the orange jumpsuit or whatever it is they wear in Michigan. Look what I'm making. It's a blanket. It's Berta. I started the last section of your blanket, but you know, I was gifted this yarn by Jen, and I didn't know what to do with it because it's such weird yarn. But I think it's going to make a nice little throw. It's that that velvety yarn, you know. It's like a velour almost feeling. not my favorite, but they say that when you make a blanket out of it, it's real comfy and cozy. But so we'll see. So I thought corner to corner would probably just be the easiest to do. So that's what I'm doing. Has nothing to do with this trial that we're waiting to hear the verdict on, but just passing the time. And it has no give to it. It's a very loose. I'm using a real big needle too. I'm using a 12 hook. This big old hook here. And I asked Jen, what did you have in mind when you bought this yarn? She's like, I just thought it was pretty. She didn't have anything in mind when she bought it, which is kind of funny. I do that all the time. Buy yarn just because it's pretty. Shirley loves blankets. Me too. And last night it was so hot in my room. I had to turn the air on. It was ridiculous. It probably wasn't really hot. For some reason, I was hot last night. I don't know why. All right, where's this dude? Come on. You think Jennifer's watching in the jail where she's at? Watching the verdict? Did they watch TV in prison, right? But do they get YouTube? I don't know. Vacation is awesome. I rested yesterday. Today, watched a movie with the kids and about to cook dinner, pepper steak and rice. Yum! That sounds delicious. Isn't it nice just to like tool around the house and not have to work? And well, you work from home too, so but not have to work. It's just nice. It's very different. Just make sure that when you have Zoom meetings, you're fully clothed. Here he comes. Yep, he's got to put his tie on. They wait till he gets into the courtroom to put the tie on. Rhonda's heading to an art exhibit to see my work among fellow classmates. Oh, take pictures, Rhonda. I want to see. Shirley says, if I'm not mistaken, they have a communal TV, but I've been imprisoned by the law. But I've never been imprisoned. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad. You rarely take a vacation to stay home and do nothing. I know, you're always on the go. Oh geez, my dog wants back in. I'm gonna turn the sound back on so you guys can hear what's going on in the courtroom.
Your Honor, calling People versus James Crumbly, case number 2279989F8.
Thank you, Mark Keys on behalf of People.
Karen McDonald,
Good evening, Your Honor. Marielle Lehman on behalf of James Crumbly.
Mr. Crumbly, can you hear us?
Hi, Rochelle.
All right, you can be seated.
Oh, you're on vacation this week too. Wow.
The media was
In Atlantic City. You
I'm
guys.
going to read that into the record. I consulted with the attorneys who answered the question, and so then I sent the question back in. They agreed on the answer. The jury asked, please define Article 16.13, bullet number 4, define willfully neglected and grossly negligent. The lawyers agreed to answer the question. Please see jury instruction 16.18 for the definition of gross negligence. All other definitions are contained within jury instruction 16.13. I also want to point out that there's a request by the media to ask the jury members if they would be willing to remain in the courthouse and be questioned off camera. Because there would be a verdict and no other defendant pending trial, I would have been willing to do that. But the courthouse closes at 4:30, and I have continually imposed on the courthouse for the sake of this trial and the other one. I cannot impose on the staff for the deputies any further. I also want to indicate that with regard to Case number 22279990 FH, the People versus Jennifer Crumley. There is an order restricting pretrial publicity. It was entered on July 14th, 2022. That order will be set aside as soon as the verdict is read. I will also be issuing an order that will obviously not be made public in the courthouse until tomorrow morning. In addition, case number 22279989 FH, the People versus James Crumley, the same thing. The order restricting pretrial publicity was entered on July 14th, 2022, and that order will also be set aside as of.
So she is lifting the gag order on this now that both trials are complete.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Ron.
There are quite a few family members of the deceased in the courtroom, so I expect that because they have to clear out the courthouse since it's already closed for the day, we're not going to get to hear from those parents unless they do it outside the courthouse. I know last time one of the parents spoke right outside the courtroom, but we'll just have to see. Mr. Crumley is hard of hearing. That's why you see the headphones on his head.
All rise for the jury.
Good evening. Good evening. Be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you've worked very hard, and we've all been awaiting your decision. I know this was a very intense decision for you all to make. I believe you've selected a four-person. Who's a four-person? You're the four-person. Could you read the verdict, please?
Each count.
Sure.
Count one, involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin. Count two, involuntary manslaughter as to Tate Meir. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Tate Meir. Count three, involuntary manslaughter as to Hannah St. Juliana. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Hannah St. Juliana. Count four, involuntary manslaughter as to Justin Schilling. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Justin Schilling.
Thank you, four-person. I'm going to ask Ms. Williams to hold the jury. So she's going to ask you each.
Jury in seat number one, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number two, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number three, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number four, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number six, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number seven, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number eight, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number nine, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 11, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 12, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Jury in seat number 13, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 14, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I know how hard this has been on all of you just by reading your face. I know this has been a very hard decision. And we appreciate your time. I'm going to ask you to return to the jury room, and I'll be there with you in a few minutes, all right?
I suspect that they're both going to be sentenced in the same proceedings in April, but we'll have to see.
seated. Bond is revoked. Sentencing will be April 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right. I'll allow both sides to speak to the jury if they're interested. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
If everyone can just remain seated.
So that is the same date and time as his wife. So they will be sentenced in the same proceeding. I'm going to go ahead and mute that. I'll leave the video running for a few minutes. Maybe we'll see some of the family members. I don't know. I'm anxious to see both of these husband and wife now in the same room, having been convicted. I think if I was the wife, I'd probably smack him. You bought him that gun, damn it. You just had to buy him a gun, didn't you? It's the whole thing is sad all the way around. I mean, I agree with the verdict, but it's just it didn't have to happen. It didn't, it's just sad. Yeah, so each count, if she says would be up to 60 years. Each count is 15 years, or each count is up to 15 years. And, his wife was convicted of the exact same thing, 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Or she could have it, up to 15 years concurrent with the other 3 charges. I'm not sure how she's going to do this. I mean, it does involve 4 deaths, and many, many other people were injured. So the man in that striped shirt, you see, that's Justin Schilling's father. I don't know who the other family members, which ones are the other family members. He's been like the most vocal during this proceeding. I think that was a pretty clean trial versus the one we saw for Jennifer, but same result nonetheless. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and shut that down so you don't hear it anymore. Any questions or comments, guys? Look, Jen, I'm making this yarn that you sent me, Jen. Look, Jen, I'm going to make this little bitty throw out of it. So you sent me 2 of 3 different colors, but I'm just going to put it all on one big throw and call it a day. I'm using this corner to corner stitch. So, yeah. So James Crumley has been convicted of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Each count will be sentenced on April 9th with his wife. They will be sentenced in the same proceeding. Wow, anyone that's ever bought their child a gun needs to pay attention to this precedent-setting case. Here's the key. When the prosecutor finished her rebuttal today, she picked up the murder weapon. She took the cable lock out of the packaging and put it onto the gun and timed herself doing it. It took less than 10 seconds, and this was the message she was sending to the jury. In less than 10 seconds, James Crumley could have changed the outcome. None of us would be here if he'd taken 10 seconds to put that cable lock through that gun. And that's what parents need to think about. If you're going to buy a gun, better get it locked up, because these kids, they're not going to tell you they need help. They're not going to be explicit about it. And if you're not snooping around and reading their journals and things, you're not ever going to know, check your kids' social media once in a while. See what they're writing to other people. That's my recommendation. If I had young kids now, I'd be like, hey, pull up that Instagram. Let me see it. I know Tia would. Tia probably still does it, and her kids are adults. But you just don't know. Rhonda says, not surprised. This will be interesting for future situations. Well, I don't know if you watched the show today, but the prosecutor tried to distinguish this. She says, we're not telling parents that they're going to be brought up for involuntary manslaughter for every little thing your child does. She said, in this case, the facts and circumstances of this case were egregious. So, yeah, well, the future will tell. I don't know. We're getting all kinds of strange rulings in this country, Jean says, how about getting the child help? Yeah. No, he's in prison now. That's all the help he's going to get. He's in prison. Yep. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And I will come up with a true crime story for you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Take care, everybody. Bye.